You may have asked yourself, as a first responder, why can DDD providers not do certain things in what seems like an emergency situation? There are certain things DDD providers can and should do, techniques that are rarely approved for DDD providers, and those that are prohibited for DDD providers. DDD providers are not crisis intervention providers. They are not available to respond 24/7 like other agencies, such as DCS or mobile teams. If there is a DDD provider on scene, there are some ways that they can help. However, the focus of their job is long-term care with an emphasis on the best interest of the client. Some things that are a big part of a first responder's job, such as using emergency response techniques or using force to keep a person safe, are counter to the culture of a long-term care provider for a variety of reasons, including its negative effect on the provider-client relationship. This means that DDD providers have some restrictions in how they can help you. Here is a list of things that DDD providers can do during emergency situations. All DDD providers are trained in CPR and first aid. In certain behavioral emergencies, specially trained individuals who are DDD providers may use emergency physical intervention techniques. DDD asks very specific questions to define a behavioral emergency, which are as follows. Right now, is the person in danger? Right now, is someone else in danger? And right now, is there a risk of property damage that may put someone in danger? Providers are also trained in Article 9, or state-mandated client rights training. According to Article 9, there are some techniques that are rarely approved for DDD providers. These include using force, using response cost, or taking something away from the person that is not causing immediate danger, restricting a member's rights, giving behavior-modifying medications, or using a protective device to prevent injury. This technique must be pre-approved to be used by a DDD provider.
There are also prohibited techniques for DDD providers. These include use of seclusion or locked timeout rooms, overcorrecting a behavior, use of noxious stimuli, giving a one-time behavior-modifying medication without specific doctor's orders, use of mechanical restraints, or use of physical restraints unless specifically trained to do so, and the situation meets the division's definition of a behavioral emergency.
Remember that the end goal of the division is to make sure that the members who receive services through DDD contractors remain safe but retain their rights as individuals.
As a first responder, you understand better than anyone that all of the elements of crisis have to be present before you intervene and take away their constitutional right to be free.
For DDD providers, that may mean that someone could be sitting in the street, but because no cars are coming, the situation does not meet the definition of a behavioral emergency, and we cannot yet use force. We still will use other resources, such as communication and our personal knowledge of the individual client, to try and work through the incident.